Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to begin with some of these Dollar Tree tumbling tower blocks. These come in 2 different colors, a natural and a brown. So this will be useful for my gingerbread themed DIYs for sure. So first I'm going to begin by taking a few of the brown and I'm just going to create a rectangle in this manner, and I'm going to adhere it with some of the super glue wood glue, which you guys know I love. It's great. So I'm just going to make sure to add just a tiny little bit of the glue. I don't want it oozing out too much. Number 1, it's hard to remove from my silicone mat, but just like this. Now I just set that aside. Now I'm going to do a second formation. I'm going to take 3 more tumbling tower blocks and I'm going to adhere them together like this. And then I'm going to take 2 more and place one on top and then one on the bottom to create this little formation, like a little solid rectangle like this. And then place that up top to allow that to dry. And here I'm wiping off some of that glue. Let me tell you, that glue is good. So then I'm going to take some of the natural ones and I'm going to do the same thing. But this formation is going to be different on this one. I will be doing 2 of each, 1 of each color. This one's going to be a larger rectangle, more like a frame, like this. And then I'm going to add just the tiniest bits because let me tell you, the struggle is real with some of my crafting supplies. Okay, so here I'm just trying to finagle it and get it nice and even. And then place that on there and then allow this to dry. And I do 2 of each like this. Now I'm going to go in with some of the Waverly chocolate in the color Snow White, and I give the natural ones a full coat. Now I'm going to take some of these jumbo straws. I do have some of the Dollar Tree straws, but I couldn't find them, and these are from Amazon, so I'm just going to use these. And I'm just going to cut them to fit into this hole, and I'm going to add a dab of glue to hold it in place. A dab of glue on the bottom and a dab of glue on the top like this, and then I'll just kind of squeeze a little piece of straw in there. And I just think this is going to be such a fun ornament. It's going to look so cute. So I'm going to go ahead and measure, kind of roughly measure another piece, and then I'm going to use this one to cut out some more because I'm going to use it for the larger frame as well. So here I'm just going to take a dab of glue and place the second one inside. And look at the colors. Does that not scream gingerbread and peppermint? So cute. So this one's a little bit too big. I'm going to have to cut a little bit. And now press that in there. I didn't want to bend it because it probably would have bent if I would have like shoved it in there. But just like that, those are ready. And now for the larger frames, I'm going to add these as well. Cut that for a template and then cut some more like this. And then I have 4 just like that. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Add a little dab of glue on the top and on the bottom and place that inside. And then I go ahead and do this to the other side and then the brown one as well. Just like this. Now look how cute this looks. Oh my goodness. I just love it. I just have so much fun making ornaments. Now I'm going to take a piece of this plastic. It came off of a lettuce spring mix container. You guys know, if you follow me, you know that I like to use the lids for different projects because it is free crafting supplies. It's a free crafting supply. So I'm just going to cut it to shape and to size to fit on my little frame. That way it looks like a frame with a faux glass. So I'm just going to take this piece. I'm going to add a little dab of glue on all 4 corners. That'll be sufficient to hold this thin piece of plastic. Place it down and kind of tap it. And I'll do the same to the brown one. Add a little dab of glue on each of the corners like this. and place my plastic on top. And just kind of press it down. Now this is done, looking cute. Now it's time to add a couple little more embellishments. For the middle ornaments, I'm not going to add any of the straws. Instead, I'm going to add a little bit of burlap. So I had these two pieces, actually three, but I decided to use this white one and just fray off the ends. I like a frayed end piece of burlap. I think it looks just so cute. It's so soft and kind of rustic looking. Press it down with my silicone spatula because who wants to get burnt? Not me. And then I had this kind of burgundy color piece as well. So I'm just going to fray the ends on that, kind of trim off some of the ends that look a little bit wonky. Although sometimes the wonky looks whimsical. But for this, I decided to go ahead and just trim it up. Add a little bit of hot glue and press it down. Again with my silicone spatula. Now I'm ready to add my little gingies. I'm so excited. Now here I have these little gingies from last year. They're from the Dollar Tree. And I'm glad I still had some. And I hope they have them again this year because they are adorable. And I'm just going to add some hot glue and place them on like this. Add one to the bottom. And then add another dab of glue on the next gingy. And I'm going to add this one on the top. Kind of like it's a maypole, but it's not a maypole. It's more like a, peppermint. I'm going to add that one in the center and then this one in the center. And just like that, they're all adhered. Looking cute. Now I'm going to add the hanger. I'm going to use some of this red and white baker's twine. And I'm going to create my little loops and tie them and have them ready. I'm going to do just a little loops for the 4 on the right. For the 2 on the left, I'm going to just use a couple strings for now. Now on Amazon, I found these kind of eye hooks. And so there's like different sizes. And I'm going to use the teeny tiny ones, of course, because these are ornaments. And I'm just going to press these inside the wood. The tumbling tower blocks are a little bit stronger than what I thought they were because I tried to do it by hand. But I needed the help of my drill. As you can see here, I'm just trying to like push it in there. But I do have long nails too, so that doesn't help. Oh my goodness. So I had to bring out the big gun. And made a little pilot hole with my drill. Like this. And now I could press that in. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of frame here. And I'm still struggling because of my nails. So I went to plan C, which is my needle nose pliers. Hold that in place. That worked better. Now that worked perfectly. So if you have long nails, yes, utilize your needle nose pliers. Okay, so now I'm just going to add my piece of baker's twine inside the hole and thread it through, and just like that, voila! Cute little ornament, one done. And now here I'm going to do the same thing with the larger frame. Make a couple little pilot holes. Because this larger ornament is going to have 2 of the eye hooks, one on each side for better balance. And that way it'll look super cute on the tree. And again, just going to use my needle nose pliers. It works great. I made this pilot hole a little bit deeper so it was a little bit easier. So just get that twisted. And then finally my last one. Get that one on there. Now for the hanger part on this one, I'm just going to thread the baker's twine through and make a knot nice and tight. And then snip off the excess. And then I do the same thing to the other side. That way it's a longer hanger. And like I mentioned earlier, that way it'll balance nicely. So here I'm just snipping off the excess. And then I do the same thing to the rest of them. And look how adorable they look. Oh my goodness, they are so cute. Now all I have to do is embellish with some bows and greenery. And just like that, they are done. Look how adorable. They are so cute. This is how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. This video is a Christmas in July gingerbread ornaments video, and I'm collaborating today with my sweet friend Annie from Crafting with Indiana Jones, and we are both creating gingerbread ornaments. So when you're done watching my video, please head on over to our channel. It'll be linked in my description box and pinned in my comments. For DIY number 2, I'm going to take a bunch of these little blocks, wood blocks from the Dollar Tree. I don't remember how many I used, maybe 25 or 6 or 7, 20 something. Just use whatever you want to use. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the super glue wood glue again with this one. And I'm going to begin by adhering 3 of these little blocks together. And I'll show you here. I'm just adding some little bits of glue just to get a head start. But I'm just going to adhere 3. Well, here's 2, but I'm going to add 1 more. So here's 3. And then I'm going to do, I think, 1 more on this one, 4. And then the 2 with a 3. Like this. So I'm going to set these aside, allow them to set for a minute. They don't take long. So now I'm going to start building onto this, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the corners. And I'm just going to join the corner to that bar of wood that I created, like this. And then on this last one, I'll add 2 corners of glue, and I'll adhere them by the corners to create kind of an arch shape. And then I'll do the same thing to the other side. Well, I do the same thing to the second one, like this. For this one, I only did 2, so like this. And then I'll just keep adding, and I'm just going to take my time, and I'm just going to do the tiny little bits of glue because I don't want it to be too gloppy. And then here's the last one for the first formation, like this. So I'm kind of making a circle, like a circular shape. And on the other 2, it's kind of a circular shape, but it's not. I don't know if that's making sense. I'm glad you guys can see what I'm doing here because it's hard to explain this one. But anyway, just do this. And for this last one, I'm going to add it on top, but not straight, not like this. I ended up moving it because that's not right. I'm going to put it in a diagonal like this. And then I'll start adding to this one in the same manner. So in here, that way they kind of stagger. So the void underneath will have one on top, if that makes sense. What we are creating here is a Christmas tree. So you can start to imagine here what this might look like. And I'm just going to do little dabs of glue, and I'm going to add some to the bottoms as well. That way the bottom of the block will adhere to the block underneath. So here I'm going to add 1 more here. I probably didn't need that other block, but I added it. That block could have actually been gone. But here I'm going to do the other side. And just take my time. Add a dab of glue on the bottom. And place it. See how this one has a 3rd block? I probably didn't need that other 3rd block, but oh well. I left it there. So now I'm ready to add this little grouping here. And for the most part, it's setting well. It's not completely set, but I'm going to work with it because I need to continue. So I'm going to add some more of the super glue wood glue. And I'm just going to kind of like place it on there. And yes, it kind of did fall apart a little bit, but I just quickly put it all back together. No problem. Try to make sure it's staggered. Now I'm going to take 4 more pieces and add these on the very top in this manner, like this. So you can kind of see that it's taking shape of a tree. Then I'm going to take 1 more for the very top and place it in the center like this. Now I'm going to set this aside, allow this to dry and cure completely because it's a lot of glue. Now here it is, nice and dry, looking good. And of course I'm going to go in with a nutmeg brown paint by Apple Barrel, paint it up Look, now you can see it's a little Christmas tree, 3D. Now I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree puffy paint. It's actually a fabric paint. And I'm just going to go around all the top and side edges of this little formation, this little Christmas tree, little block Christmas tree. And I'm just going to take my time and do the drips. I love doing the drips, the faux frosting. Love it, or faux icing. I love it. This is one of my favorite parts of gingerbread DIYs. Look how cute. And I did this to the whole thing. Like this. Look how cute. Okay, so now I'm just going to take one more of these eye hooks. And I'm going to create a hole on top. And put the eye hook in. Nice and anchored on top. And I'm going to add my baker's twine hanger. Just tie it on there. And then last but not least, I'm going to do a little bit of embellishing. I'm going to use some more of these little gingies from the Dollar Tree and place them on and add a little bow. And that is it for this one. Here's how it looks and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I'm going to use some of these mini wooden spools that I got from Amazon. I got them last year. I had a bunch, so I'm just going to use these, and I'm going to create another little Christmas tree shape, but this is more of a 2D because it's going to be flat on the surface, but it'll be an ornament. And this is actually my thought process. I'm trying to see if I like it, if I want to continue, and once I get it all formed, I love it. So now I'm going to use some more of the super glue wood glue because I love this stuff. And I'm just going to take the glue and just add the tiniest little drops of glue like this on the top sides of the spools and join them together. And here I made a bunch of little groupings. Some are 2s and some are 3s. And I'm going to continue to add some more of this glue, just the tiniest little drop. That's all you need, that much. And just carefully join these together to create kind of a square like this. And then I'm going to add some more to these 2, just tiny drop. Oh my goodness, like this. That's my base. Some more of that glue on my mat. Anyway, look, just like that. And now I'm going to start making the Christmas tree itself. And I'm going to adhere this to the side right here. And then another one to the other side. Like this. And then I just continue building. And again, we're going to stagger. So I just got to make sure it's going to fit right. I'm trying to see where my points are for my glue. They're more to the side when you stagger. So don't put them directly on the front. Put them to the side. And then they'll adhere perfectly like this. And there it is, my little tree formation. Now allow that to dry completely and go in with some of the nutmeg brown, of course. Now to embellish, I had some of this really thin ribbon. I think I got this from Amazon last year or even the year before. And for this, I'm going to use some hot glue because I need the immediate hold. And I'm going to add a little dab and place my ribbon. And then add a little dab to the bottom where the tree part it is attached to the base. And I'm going to press it in there with my fingernail or with just my finger, my thumb, like this. Get it in place. Kind of hold it while the glue is setting and cooling down. And then add my next point right here on the side of the tree and adding my ribbon and pulling it taut. That way there's no give. And I'll just continue till I get to the other side like this. Look how cute. Now it's time to do a little bit of embellishing, and I'm going to go in with some more of my little gingies. Place those on top. They'll represent some of my grandkids, my little grandsons, and add it with a little bit of hot glue in this manner. And now for my hanger, I'm just going to add a dab of glue to the end to make a makeshift needle. And I'm just going to poke it through like this, so simple. and then make a knot and tie it to make my loop. And then I'll pull the baker's twine through. That way the knot will be inside of the spool. And the knot will suddenly just be invisible. And finally, I'll just top it off with a little bow made with that same ribbon. Add it to the very top. And that is it. Super cute little ornament. Look how adorable. I think it's just cute, cute, cute. And here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 4, I'm going to do a clay project, and I'm going to use some of this foam clay that I got from Amazon. And if you've never used foam clay, it's pretty sticky at first, very moist, but once you start conditioning it, it'll firm up and it'll be great. So here I'm beginning to condition, and then I realized, wait a minute, I have my rings on. Let me remove these things. Number 1, they'll get sticky everywhere, and number 2, you'll see little indentations everywhere on this foam clay, so it's not good. So here I'm just going to condition it by pulling it and pulling it and stretching it and pulling it, and just keep doing this until it starts to firm up, and you'll know when that happens. Now I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper, just keep everything nice and tidy, and I'm going to kind of stretch this a little bit more gently. I'm going to take some of this cornstarch. This is just regular cornstarch that I got from my kitchen. I just put it in this jar. This was just some random jar I had left over. I think it was vitamins or something for the dogs or something. I don't know. So I just put the cornstarch in there. And I'm keeping this in my craft room. So my cornstarch is going to act as the flour to this baked goodie. So here I'm just going to cut out a piece that I think I'm going to need for another project. I'm just kind of pulling away some of the pieces, kind of forming them into a dough looking kind of, I don't know, shape. And I'm just going to continue to knead with my fingers and using my acrylic plastic rolling pin, adding some more of the cornstarch and kind of just spreading it everywhere. I want this to look like a real dough, but it won't be. It'll just be, of course, clay. But I want that real dough looking gingerbread look. So just trying to spread it everywhere. Now here are my cookie cutters. These are gingerbread little cookie cutters, of course. I'm going to add another piece of parchment paper for my finished products. So here I'm going to press it down and pull away the excess clay dough. I'm putting this here for now. So here I'm going to pull away the excess like this. And as I can see here, the clay is still kind of moist. It probably could have used a little bit more kneading, but I'm already into it, so I'm just going to work with it and I'll just allow this to dry completely on its own. So I'm going to leave the cookie inside the cookie cutter, that way it'll dry in there for now, but I will be taking it out. So here I'm just going to continue to do some more kneading and forming, add some more of my faux flour, add my next one right on top like that, pressing it, pulling away the excess in this manner, and then placing it on my other parchment paper. And then I'll just continue this until I get them all done like this. Now I'll just wad this back up and keep pressing it, and each time I press it and knead it and add some more of my cornstarch, the better and better the consistency of this foam clay gets. So that's the trick. Just add some cornstarch and it gives it that baked look anyway. It looks really authentic. So now I'm going to use some of these other cookie cutters that I had on hand. They're just little mini shapes, and I'll be using those for next week's video. So here they are. I'm just showing you real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to flip these over. That way they'll dry better. And then these I had cut out for the next DIY. You'll see that in a minute. And all I had left was that little ball. Now here everything is nice and dry. And I will tell you this, as this continues to dry, the ends will start to curl up. So what I did was I went ahead and placed a heavy book on top of each of these. That way when the foam clay dried completely, it laid flat. And if you don't do that, the ends will curl up on you, so that's not good. That's not cute. So yeah, I didn't show it here, but yeah, it was afterwards, after I was done, and as the foam clay was completely curing, the ends started to curl up. So put something heavy on top when you're all done with your project. Okay, so now here I took a poking tool and I created a hole because the foam clay had not completely cured yet, so it was still soft enough. And I added my piece of baker's twine to create the hanger. And I find that this is the stage where it's the best time to add the hanger. I mean, you could probably add it when the foam clay is completely cured, but then the hole itself won't look authentic like real dough. And I'll just do this to all of them until they look like this. And this is how I'm going to leave them, look rustic and cute. And this is how they look in a closer look at the final reveal. Video number 5. I'm going to take these 2 tiny little cutting boards that I got from Amazon last year, and I'm going to paint them with the nutmeg brown. And then these are the pieces of the foam clay that I had left over from the last project, and I actually made them a little bit too big. I couldn't find the little cutting boards at that time, so I just kind of guesstimated, and I guess I guesstimated a little bit too big. So here I'm having to use my scissors to snip off the excess, that way these will fit inside. But on these clay pieces, all I did was use my mini cookie cutters and just kind of made indentations of the cookies like they're just on the board. So once I get this done and have them trimmed, I'm going to use some more of this burlap, this white, it's like a cream colored burlap, fray off the little ends because I like that look. Add a little bit of hot glue, place them on top and just gently dab it, and then take some more hot glue and add my little faux baked goodie on top, or should I say dough, not baked yet. And I'll do the same thing to the other one, kind of fray off the little ends, remove some of those fibers, and place down my little piece of burlap and add my little dough piece. So one is a heart and one is a flower, if you can't tell. You'll see it closer at the final reveal. Now I'm just going to add the hangers, a couple little bows, and a couple pieces of greenery. And that is it, just like that. And just look at these super cute little ornaments. Here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. If you're on Instagram, here's my QR code. I invite you to come join me and follow me there. I post on there Monday through Fridays. Here's my TikTok QR code, Monday through Fridays as well as my Facebook. Here's my QR code for there, also Monday through Fridays, and Pinterest. Here's my QR code for there. This is my link or handle to my Threads account, also Monday through Fridays. Here's my QR code to Hometalk. I post on there twice a month. I do have a crafting group on Facebook. I invite you to come join us there. And now we're at the final reveal. Let me know what you think and which one's your favorite one. While I take a moment and thank Annie from Crafting with Indie Annie Jones for collaborating with me in this gingerbread ornament theme. I had a lot of fun creating for this video, and I'm excited to see what she created. So be sure to click the link to her channel, to her video, and watch her video when you're done watching this, and enjoy it and get some inspiration. She is very talented and she is so sweet. And hope you guys enjoyed this first video of my Christmas in July series, of course all gingerbread. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. Like I mentioned, this whole month will be all full of gingerbread. So much fun. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.